Ah, do you wish there was something better to listen to on that awful commute to work or that tedious temper tantrum-filled school run? Look no further and listen to A Game of Two Halves.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you still poorly?
I'm still dying.
Oh. So welcome to the 13th episode now. Number 13.
Unlucky for some.
Jinx.
Touch wood.
I'm already touching
I know,
it.
we both were.
So therefore it doesn't count, alright?
I need to click my pen.
No, you don't need to click your pen. So she clicks her pen.
I need to write the scoreboard ready.
So to remind everybody, what are the scores from Kirsty versus Dylan?
Basically, I'm trouncing you.
That's not a number. It's
That's all
words.
people need to know.
What are the scores, please?
You've got 170. Wah, wah, wah. And I've got 186. Woo!
Kirsty versus Dylan.
Okay, so we have some new categories of quizzes.
Yes, we went out to the shops and we purchased some more trivia boxes.
Yes.
We've got Disney, 2000s and DreamWorks.
Yep,
Yeah.
we do. So we have lots, we have loads and loads and loads. So hopefully it lands on something new so you guys can...
You're going to keep spinning it until it lands on something new because I know what you like.
No, but
Yes,
it is
you are.
my turn to spin. I'm going to go this way and go that way. Yes. 2000s. Whoop whoop.
Okay. I need to get it out of the box.
Let's get quizzical.
Anyway, my turn to be the taskmaster, the quizmaster. Taskmaster, where's that from?
I think you're thinking of Spooks.
No, but Spooks is good.
Well, that's
This might
only...
be in here, actually,
Oh, yeah.
because it's from the 2000s. So
So there better not be any spoilers because I've only just started watching it.
So this is all about trivia and the noughties, so pop culture as usual,
Yeah.
entertainment, movies, TV.
It was the era we were growing up in, so
Yes.
hopefully we would know a bit.
Hopefully I get more than 10. That my goal is to get more than 10, but you're answering first, so are you ready? Kirsty?
Yes.
Question number 1 of a possible 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
What E4 television show featured an Adele song in a 2008 episode? A. Skins, B. Nearly Famous, C. Shameless.
Oh, that's a hard one.
it's
I don't remember it in Skins.
Okay.
I did watch all of Shameless and I can't remember that. So Nearly Famous. No?
Skins.
Was it?
So true or false, the Apple iPhone was first released for sale in November 2001.
Oh, I think that's true. No?
The Apple iPod was the first
Oh.
released in 2001, 6 years before the iPhone. Okay, question 3. True or false, Slumdog Millionaire won Best Picture Director and Screenplay at the BAFTAs, Golden Globes and the Oscars.
It did win a lot of awards, so true.
That's correct. What is the name of a unique sort of song that is used by characters in the film Happy Feet? A. Heart song, B. Voice song, C. Feet song.
Hot song. No.
Correct. In the film Happy Feet, Elijah Wood provides the voice for the character of Mumble.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know that.
I did know that. He's also now Spyro.
I love Spyro. So who won the 2004 Formula One British Grand Prix? Kimi Räikkönen, Michael Schumacher, Rubens Barrichello.
Michael Schumacher, the only one I know.
I know all three of them actually, but yes, it was Michael Schumacher. So Schumacher is the only driver in history to win 7 Formula One World Championships. True or false, the 2007 British Children's Book of the Year, Flanimals of the Deep, was written by Ricky Gervais.
Sounds like a name he would give, true.
Yes, true indeed. True or false, in March of 2001, the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, said that it was investigating a kidnapping plot against Bob Dylan. True or false?
When?
2001, March 2001.
Oh, I don't remember. False.
Yep, the kidnapping plot was actually against Russell Crowe.
Wow, okay.
So how many Brit Awards was The Streets nominated for in 2002? 1, none, or 4?
Oh, see, they were only really a one-hit wonder, though, weren't they?
I can't remember much by them. Right?
Dry your eyes, mate. 1. Jesus.
So the cover image for the Streets album original pirate material is Towering Inferno by photographer Rut Blees Luxembourg. True or false, The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan and starring Heath Ledger, is the Joker, premiered in New York 2008.
I think it's more than 11 years ago since he died. So, false.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah. When British performer opened the 2007 concert... Sorry, completely read the wrong freaking thing. Which British performer opened the 2007 concert for Diana? The Spice Girls, Elton John, The Who.
In which year?
2007. Spice Girls, Elton John, The Who.
Elton John?
Yeah. Comedian Ricky Gervais improvised a set while technical issues delayed Elton John's closing set at the 2007 concert for Diana. Only Ricky Gervais, eh? In Star Wars Episode the Third, Revenge of the Sith, what directs the clone troopers to kill the Jedi? Order 66, Command 66, or Order 56?
I don't know, B.
Order 66. It's a bit of a tough question. In Star Wars Episode the Third, Revenge of the Sith, the clone troopers' vehicles are 10-wheeled HV-6 Juggernaut armoured personnel carriers.
Excellent.
What character was most widely known for her phrase, "Am I bothered"? Sally Field, Jackie Stone, Lauren Cooper.
But I'm a bothered, though. But I'm a bothered.
Which is the answer?
It's C. Come on.
Yet Lauren Cooper was a fictional character in the Catherine Tate Show. It's one of my all-time favourite
But I'm a bothered.
shows ever. Well, clearly not. Which concert with stages on 7 continents began on July the 7th, 2007? Live Earth, Ozfest, the concert for Diana.
A.
Live Earth, yeah. The July 2007 Live Earth concert set records the most viewed internet streams. True or false, Arctic Monkeys won 2 consecutive Brit Awards for Album of the Year in the 2000s.
True.
It is indeed correct, Amondo.
Let's go stay good.
You have a lot of true or false questions again. It's a fix.
Oh, here, man.
True or false, in its first week, iTunes Store customers bought more than 1 million songs.
True.
Yep. Here's one for you. Who was the FIFA Women's World Player of the Year in 2001 and 2002? Michelle Akers, Carla Worden, or Mia Hamm?
You're actually having a giraffe.
No.
What are the names?
Michelle Akers, Carla Worden, Mia Hamm.
Mia Hamm. No, that wasn't my answer, but okay.
So,
I was just laughing at her name.
well, I took that as your answer. So Mia Hamm was a member of the 1991 and 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup gold medal winning teams.
That was totally my answer. That was exactly what I was going to say. I was just laughing at her name.
Well, that's fine. You got an extra sneaky point. In J.K. Rowling's books, what is Harry Potter's middle name? Samuel James Robert.
James.
Sacha Baron Cohen won which award for his portrayal of Borat in 2006? A Golden Globe, an Oscar, or a Grammy?
That won't be a Grammy because that's musical. What were the first two? Golden Globe or
Oscar?
a Golden Globe?
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen also starred in the film Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell. I think that's how you say it. Talladega or Talladega. So who won BBC One's Fame Academy Series 2 in 2003?
Life. I never watched this.
James Fox, Alex Parks, Carolyn Good.
The only name that sticks out is Alex Parks.
Yep, the Bee Gees' Robin Gibb was a judge on the show
Really?
Fame Academy Series 2. Final question. What kind of animal is Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia?
Lion.
Is he a fox, a squirrel, or a bear?
Who?
Aslan.
You're reading out...
A fox, a squirrel, or a bear?
Aslan.
Yes, Aslan. The lion.
Yes, he is a lion.
I'm lying. That wasn't one of the questions. Oh, God, that's a really shit joke. Aslan the Lion helps Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy defeat the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, to be specific.
The Fox, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, absolute.
So what's your score?
15.
Oh, my God. Right, I am ready to be absolutely trounced again.
Right, true or false? Just 2 series received Best British Soap Award in the 2000s, EastEnders and Coronation Street.
True.
That is correct. Which band defeated Leona Lewis at the 2008 Brit Awards? Vampire Weekend, Take That, or Kaiser Chiefs?
Take That.
The Leona Lewis single Bleeding Love was nominated for a 2008 Brit in the category Record of the Year.
True.
No, that was just the fact.
I thought it was a question.
No.
I think is that true or false?
Against whom did British boxer Ricky Hatton suffer a big defeat in 2007? Louis Collazo, Freddie Pendleton, Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Las Vegas, Nevada was the scene of the crime for British boxer Ricky Hatton's notable 2007 defeat at the hands of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Which of these is the title of the hit 2008 album by Leona Lewis? Spirit, Faith, or Grace?
Spirit.
Leona Lewis won the 3rd season of X Factor in 2006, winning a £1 million recording contract with Simon Cowell's record label Psycho Music. True or false? In 2003, NASA's space probe Galileo drove into Jupiter's atmosphere. In 2003, NASA's space probe Galileo drove into Jupiter's atmosphere. True or false?
False.
No.
I thought Jupiter was just a bit too optimistic for them.
No, apparently not. Where is character Borat from? Iraq, Kazakhstan, Pakistan.
Kazakhstan.
Borat is the star of 2005 film Borat, Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
I've never seen it. I don't like him.
Do you not like Ali G?
I like Ali G, it's the only thing I like, but
Okay.
Borat is just a bit too far.
Right. In the title of Richard Dawkins' 2006 play for Science or Religion, what is God? An invention, a delusion, a mistake?
An illusion. An invention. Is it?
So it was delusion.
Oh, delusion.
It was invention, delusion, or a mistake. So you just throw in a secret answer D, did you?
Fourth answer D. Delusion.
No, his book's called The God Delusion. That's not even the fun fact. The fun fact's afterwards. Richard Dawkins published The Selfish Gene in 1976. Yeah, he had a book called The God Delusion.
All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. What electronics retailer purchased Napster in September 2008 for 121 million? Circuit City, Best Buy, or Tiger Direct?
Best Buy.
That is correct. Best Buy sold its struggling Napster online service to competitor Rhapsody in 2011. True or false? Television viewers were inundated in 2005 with Jamster adverts featuring Silly Toad.
False. Crazy Frog.
It was. Crazy Frog, the advertising mascot for Jamster mobile ringtones, was eventually banned before the watershed.
Because of his penis.
Because of his little dong. I bought so much shit off that as well.
I know, I racked up like a 30 quid. Well,
I didn't have a contract. Whoa.
I used like 30 quid of top-ups.
Credit, aye. Sorry, Dad, I've run out of me £5 credit that I put up on the weekend. What have you spent it on?
I got
ringtones. Got some ringtones, and I got a Tom Clancy game.
And they were all like polyphonic, and it was like it sounded out like the actual song.
Yeah. Well, no, you could make out the song, but they were shite.
Back on your Nokia 3210.
Do you have infrared? Can you sell us that tune, please? It's really good. And then you had to sit for your whole break with your phones right next to each other and don't fucking move them. Anyway, what Scottish alternative band Franz Ferdinand's breakout single? Scottish band's Franz Ferdinand's breakout single? Michael, Take Me Out, The Dark of the Matinee.
Take Me Out.
Yes, Franz Ferdinand hit single Take Me Out has been used to promote games on systems like PSP and Xbox.
Yes.
True or false? A 2005 patent filed by Sony describes a device that would transmit sensory data back directly into the brain. Oh.
True.
That is correct, but it doesn't give me any more information.
Okay.
I am intrigued. With which computer company did Giselle Bundchen sign a multi-million-dollar contract deal with in 2006? Apple, HP or Microsoft?
Whoa, what was the question again?
So with which computer company did Giselle Bundchen sign a multi-million-dollar deal in 2006? Apple, HP or Microsoft?
I think just given... I'm going to go for Apple. I think just given the timeline, that's when they started like really expanding and started like doing all those new products and stuff.
So this is an unrelated fact, of course. In school in Brazil, Giselle was given the nickname Oliver Palito, which refers to Popeye's skinny girlfriend, Olive Oil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. True or false? Salman Rushdie has a cameo role in 2001 romantic comedy Bridget Jones's Diary.
True.
That is correct.
I don't know who that is.
No, neither do I. Where was the golf's British Open played in 2004? London, Troon in Scotland, Liverpool, England.
Scotland.
That just makes sense. Like, does London have a golf?
Not really. In Liverpool. Would it be in Liverpool?
I don't know. I don't really do golf. American Todd Hamilton won the 2004 British Open in a 4-hole playoff against Ernie Els.
Ooh.
What year did Adele headline her first UK tour? 2001, 2002 or 2007?
2001. 7, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shit.
Adele has performed as an opening act for Devendra Banhart, Amos Lee and Jamie T. Only one I know is Jamie T.
I know. Me too.
True or false? I Love You, My Doom and Stormworm are examples of early 2000s viral internet memes.
True.
I'm really shocked you didn't get that. Apparently they are all internet viruses.
Say
Yeah.
it again.
I Love You in capital letters, all one word.
Yes.
My Doom, all one word. And then Stormworm.
Yeah.
What free service does Skype provide? Games, VoIP, spelled VoIP, sorry, or money transfer?
Voice over Internet Protocol.
Oh, you're such a fucking little prick. Yes, VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol, allows you to make voice calls over broadband connection. You just have to dial up first.
Oh, and you can't be on the phone at the same time.
Dad, get off
Get
the
off
phone.
the phone. I'm trying to buy something on Napster.
Yep.
On what's not even called Napster, is it? On Jamster, Dad.
Right, which of the following is a video game title? James Bond versus Bart Simpson. I'll say that later. James Bond, Agent Under Fire, or James Bond in Hyrule.
Rule?
Hyrule.
Like Rahul.
Hyrule.
Rule. R-U-L-E.
Hyrule. Hyrule.
Oh, Hyrule.
Hyrule.
What was the game?
Which of the following is a video game title? James Bond versus Bart Simpson, James Bond, Agent Under Fire, or James Bond in Hyrule?
James Bond, Agent Under Fire.
Why are we not buying Hyrule?
I wasn't buying Bart Simpson, but it could have been Hyrule.
Hyrule. I was going to say if that was a game I wanted to play it, but then I had to stop myself, I know. In James Bond, Agent Under Fire, it was released in 2001. The player must defeat characters such as Blotch.
Oh, yeah, I know Blotch.
And the Jackal.
And I know him as well.
I've never watched James Bond.
I don't know.
Which country finally granted women the right to vote in 2005? Jesus Christ. Saudi Arabia, Namibia, or Kuwait?
Saudi Arabia.
Kuwait. Women's rights to vote was first decreed in 1999 but was overruled 6 months later. Yes, we have been oppressed for a very long time. True or false, Matthew Roche and Christopher Camp were the first couple to enter a civil partnership in the UK in 2005.
True.
Yes, congratulations. They would have been married now for 14 years.
Yes, whoop whoop.
Congratulations. I hope they're still together. That would be orcs.
And sorry if you're not. Sorry if that brings back some memories.
Oh, God.
So, what was the scores?
The scores on the doors. You got 14.
Oh, well, I beat me target of 10.
And I got 15.
Oh, of course you did.
So you're now on 184.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do some quick maths.
Quick maths.
1 + 1 is 2 quick maths. Dylan, distract them while I'm adding up.
1 + 1 is 2 quick maths.
I've got 201.
Okay. I watched a video. I think it might have been the same guy. What's he called? The Man's Not Hot guy.
Big Shack?
Is it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it Little Shack?
I don't know.
Is Biggie's dad? Or is he little? I don't know. Anyway, one of the Shacks.
I don't know whether it was Dada Shack or Baby Shack, but one of the Shacks.
But I think he was in a studio with some other singer, and I know this is like really vague, but he said to the lass that you're very tintillating, and she was like, "Oh, nice, describe tintillating." And he's like, "No, you describe tintillating." She's like, "No, you said it. Describe it." And he was just like,
Well, I think he meant titillating, but that was a little bit inappropriate.
Well, he didn't mean titillating. he meant, I didn't mean, I don't know, I'm not him. So.
Anyway, the IKEA Christmas advert's been on a few times. Have you seen it yet?
No, the IKEA.
The IKEA Christmas advert. And it makes us think of him. The style of the music in it, so we'll have to watch it.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So it is now time for something that we haven't done yet in Game of Two Halves. It was in our previous episode. Podcast.
Yeah.
Dweecast. It's the return of something that very controversial.
Controversial corner.
So this is something where we ask a question. It could be a controversial question. It could be a rude question. It could be
could just be a time for people to share their honest opinions.
Yes, the controversial element is the opinions, I guess. So this week's question is Boris Johnson,
Bojo, a good PM?
Yes.
Prime Minister.
And I was expecting some shade to be thrown at Bojo, to be honest.
I was just going to say flat out hate, but we'll go with shade. Mm-hmm.
But most of it, I'm not going to say overwhelmingly positive, but most of it was actually quite positive.
Positive, neutral to positive.
Yeah, yes, but there is a general consensus, which I think you'll probably get. So Craigie Weegie said he's better than the last two, but have we had a good Prime Minister in the last 5 decades?
I like it how he's put Prime Minister as one word. He's missed out the E in Prime.
Yeah, but that was my fault, to be honest, because I spelled it wrong originally.
Well, someone identified that further down, whereas he's just went with your really shit spelling.
Yeah. It was
Prime Minister.
It was late at night.
Prime Minister.
Have we had a good Prime Minister?
Prime Minister. I like it.
So Tell has said, better than all of the other contenders, that's for sure.
Rachel identified your spelling mistake. I'm more concerned over the fact that Prime Minister is one word. And she went on to say, I think he's a bit of a stuck-up TWAT, but considerably better than any other alternative. So,
yep. And Graham has said, nope, Carbon is no better, but stopping Brexit is the priority. So I think, I've been a bit of a fan of Labour. I'm not going to say a fan, but I've always kind of been a Labour supporter just because it's historical in this part of the country. It's always going to be a Labour kind of nation, like state, whatever you want to call it. And
It's because we are the ones that have always been the hard workers. We're the ones that have, and I don't want to take away from obviously people do hard work down south, but we're the ones that do or have been known historically to do a lot of the dirty work. So the mining industry was big up in the north, pits and things, steel working was quite big up in the north. A lot of the hard, dirty jobs were up here, and that's what Labour were for. Labour were for the working class people who did the hard, dirty jobs, and that's where it's been sort of bred into us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, Mark, there's always been a north and south divide, and it's just because it always is. There is probably always going to be one, because in terms of investment and stuff, the south is always going to be favoured over the north because it's where most of the money is.
Yeah.
With London being the capital, like, it's obviously everything's going to stem out of London, and
it's a tourist hotspot. So,
but Margaret Thatcher probably,
she really, really stuck in the knife and created the divide even.
Yeah,
dramatically.
There was no going back once Margaret Thatcher, and there's different opinions over, like, in different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. And in fairness, I don't think that what she did was, obviously,
closing the mines.
Losing a complete industry is unforgivable, but I don't think her whole reasoning behind it was.
No, and she did do a lot of good things. So, like, buy to let or let to buy. That was one of her ideas, and a lot of people up in the north would never have been able to afford to actually own their property if it wasn't for that scheme.
Yeah.
So there was stuff that she did that really damaged the north, but in another way, she also helped people actually be able to own their properties, and there was a couple of other bits and pieces as well. Yeah. My mum and dad would never have been able to buy their house. It wasn't even that much. It was only like 60 grand when they were trying to buy it. But that's just the difference between us up here and them down there.
Yeah. But not that I want to instill my views on anybody, because ultimately my views aren't really that important in the grand scheme of things.
No.
When it comes to politics. And I wouldn't ever tell anybody that they're wrong for voting for whoever they want to vote for. But
that's your right.
I definitely no longer am a supporter of Labour, and I don't know where I'm going to go, or if I'm even going to vote at all, because it's realistically not going to make a huge difference in this part of the country.
Well, I don't know, to be fair, because the last time they slipped up, that's when people like UKIP and the BNP nearly got in. So I definitely think it's worthwhile voting. Who I'm going to vote for, I'm not sure of at this stage.
Yeah.
But I think it would be wise to still vote for somebody, even if it is just an independent party.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to vote just because it's nice to have a vote and a say, but whether or not Labour will ever be not in control over here is a different story.
I think even though, sorry to interrupt, I think even if they get the seat, if they see that people's votes are changing, then that'll give them a kick. Because is it Bridget Phillips that's in Sunderland?
Bridget Phillips, then, isn't it?
Something like that. She knows. Every time she goes to the polling station, she always knows she's going to win. She stands there and she looks nervous and pretends, but she knows. Everyone who actually cares about politics up in the north always vote Labour. Always. They always have done, always will. Apart from when they got the chip on their shoulder about like foreign workers coming in, and then people started voting for UKIP and BNP, and that's how they nearly got in. But I think if we take a stand and we vote for another party, yeah, they may still get in, but they'll see that the votes are declining for them, and they'll have to do something because they can't allow it to change.
I think it's not a case of just Labour. It's not a case of I don't like Labour because I don't like Jeremy Corbyn. Like, yes, I don't like Jeremy Corbyn, but I also think that if he gets into power with his policies and he implements half the stuff he wants to implement, we're going to become such a weak country. We're already seen as a bit of a weak country now anyway.
Yeah.
And he wants to take away, I mean, I know this is probably not the most important thing to some people, but it's important to me. He wants to take away the nuclear deterrent that we've got, and he wants to basically make us all sit by a campfire and sing Kumbaya. And it's just not going to happen. As soon as we have that nuclear deterrent taken away from us, then our armies and stuff, there's not much investment in those. Like, the defence budget is less and less. It's just,
but also,
he's a crazy old guy.
But also, it's not like, yes, he might want that, and in a world where it's full of rainbows and butterflies, he might be able to get that way. But he's also got to then get the votes to back that, and you've got to think, is he going to get the votes for that? And taking a look about the other people who are there and what they have spoken about or what they believe in, I don't think that he'll get the votes in Parliament to then bring that about.
Yeah.
So then you've got to think about other policies that are more likely to get actual votes and basically outweigh the options of who's in the leadership seat and what they're saying they're going to do, and then be realistic and say, are they going to get the votes to actually do anything?
Yeah. I think it's one of them things. He probably isn't going to get the votes to do that, because people are probably going to feel the same as I do. But there was a time where we were, I mean, in terms of sort of being a rich country, we're in terms of being like all about power. There's a power index, and on the power index we're still quite high up the list, but we're still a really good country, and we still have lots of values, and we're one of the biggest importers and exporters and all that stuff, but we used to be far superior than we are now. And I think we're kind of, with this whole Brexit thing, I think people just look down upon us now, and I think it's a real shame. But I'm no expert. These are just my opinions. Obviously, you don't have to agree. You can completely disagree if you'd like. I won't hold anything against you. But having said that, the Conservative Party has helped me more than the Labour Party has in the time that they've been in government. I think they've been in government now about 10 years or ish. I think maybe they've been in there a while anyway. I'm not sure, or is it 9 years?
Well, because it was the coalition, but they were in charge.
Yeah,
and then
but personally, I've seen more money in my pocket from a Conservative government than I have from a Labour government. But at the same time, our most vulnerable are being hit in the pocket. So like, people just think of, Labour's for the North. My parents have all voted Labour, so I'm just going to vote Labour. And that has been what I've done in the past. But I also, and it is always good to actually read what their policies are and what they're planning on doing, and getting yourself educated, because any government could do something or want to do something that may not benefit you. So if you're a parent, or if you are of a certain age, if you're elderly, like, they might say, oh, we're going to take off so much, or we're going to reduce the pension, or we're going to tax this. And, you've got to think about what the policies are and what's actually going to suit you, because each party have their own agenda and their own thing that they're looking to change. So just because Labour are the party that has seemed or always come across as being for the working class, that doesn't always mean that their policies are going to suit you as a person. Yeah. No, that is true, and that's part of being a democracy, isn't it? People have their own opinion, and they're entitled to that, and we're a country where we do have a say, and we don't just have to go with one side of the story or one opinion or one person. That's what's good about that. But
Brexit's making a bit of a mockery of that at the minute, though.
Yes, But I didn't understand Brexit. Well, like, I understand Brexit, but I didn't really understand what the implications of leaving the European Union would.
I don't think it was very well documented. I don't think it was very well known exactly themselves, or if they did know, they didn't advertise it and let people know themselves. I think a lot of people who voted to be out didn't know the full ramifications of what was going to happen, and vice versa. Like, I wanted to stay in because I didn't want things to change, because it's always better to go with what you know than what you don't.
Yeah.
And because there wasn't a lot of information about what would happen if we did leave, apart from what sounded like false promises, which turned out to be false promises, I didn't want it to change.
Yeah, me either. Well, I'm the same. I voted to remain in, and a large reason for that is because I didn't understand what would happen if I voted out. But I'm not one of these people who are like, oh, do you know what? You know, there should be a new referendum. Blah 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 blah. We've had the vote. The people have decided, whether ill-informed or not. That is the result, and in my opinion, that should be carried out. But what I don't agree with is this whole no Brexit thing, no deal Brexit. Like,
no.
I don't want, because that's
our main source of trading, and
I think we need to take a deal. But I don't agree with this whole new referendum thing. It just completely goes against
makes a mockery
in the country, as you said. So I don't like it, but I've accepted it, and actually thinking about it, once all of the sort of paint has dried, so to speak, once we've left, we probably will become really successful on our own, and it's just going to take time to get there. But I don't think I've accepted that's going to happen now, and I'm not moaning about it. I think people should stop moaning about it. We were outvoted.
Yeah.
With it.
Exactly. It was close, and it was horrible to see, but that's what's been decided, and that's what needs to happen. So we need to draw a line under it and move forward. I agree with you about, I don't think we should leave with no deal. I think that would be more detrimental than good, and I think that's where that's why it's so up in the air, because Bojo is saying that I'm going to leave no matter what. And that's not the right thing. We need something in place with them so that we can move forward with them, because yes, we don't want to be part of the EU, fair enough, but we are still we are still in trading with them, and if we lose that, for both sides, it will be detrimental.
Oh yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, the EU definitely don't want us to leave, and they probably won't say this publicly, but they're going to lose out on so much income, and they're going to lose out on so much produce as well. Like, we sell like apples and stuff. Apples are a big trade for us in this country, and our apples go all over the world. And I'm pretty sure the EU is a big sort of importer of our apples, and not just apples. Like, there is stuff that we are known for, like our cars as well, like our British branded stuff. British brands are huge across the world, and they're quite big in Europe as well, so they then won't necessarily lose all of that, but
make it more difficult if we don't have an open trade deal. And it'll be hard with even just Ireland,
I know.
like the Republic of, not Northern Ireland obviously is still attached to us in effect, but Northern Ireland are part of Europe. They're separate. They wanted to be a separate entity, and that will make everything so much more difficult if we don't come up with something.
Well, this is it. I mean, I don't pretend to be an expert, and clearly I'm not, and I'm not a politician, but it is my democratic right to have an opinion, and this is my opinion, but, it is something that is out of my control ultimately. And I think regardless of what happens, our country is going to be fine. I think it might
just take some time.
I think there'll be peaks and troughs, and I think it'll take some time to get back up there, but once we are up there, I think that's when we'll start becoming, kind of a main player on the world stage again, and we already kind of are, but we're seen as weak, especially compared to, America and China and.
Well, it's because we're a small country. And in the words of me mother, just because we're a small country, we can still kick arse. Do you remember the 2 world wars?
Well, I know, but that was during a time where
we were at our peak, I know.
And we were innovative, and we, these days, if that would, we would...
I know.
It just wouldn't happen. Like, I think any war that starts now would be over very quickly because people would just use nuclear arms and it would be...
I know, it'd be devastating.
That would be it, and nobody wants that. And there's all this scaremonger in the news about, Russia is, on the verge of starting a war, and, Iran this, and America are sanctioning this and sanctioning that, and it's all scaremonger, and nobody wants a war. And
well, you've got to think about things like if they use nuclear arms, like Hiroshima and Chernobyl and other nuclear disasters, like nobody wants that for either side. I don't think it would actually happen. I think you're right. I don't think anybody wants a war. I think it's just a last resort. But anyway, we're getting too deep.
Too deep. I know, it's meant to be an entertainment podcast, not a Brexit podcast. I'm going to rename this to A Game of 2 Brexits. Or A Game of 2 Brexit Halves. Or just Brexit.
Insies and outsies.
Apologies for the long rant about politics. I'm sure you hate us now, but that's fine.
Well, that's a bit strong.
Well, they could. A random complaint that is a real complaint, and it's a funny retail related complaint. It's not actually funny; it's quite serious. But a customer phoned to complain following the delivery of a curtain pole. On finding no one home, the driver decided it would be possible to still deliver the pole through the letterbox. When the customer returned, they found their dog pinned to the wall.
Aw, poor little puppy.
Bless him.
Oh, well, Eenie today, the cat.
I like how you like Eenie, the cat.
Eenie. Well, because other people won't know that's what he's called. So, he started becoming obsessed with the post. So he'll always run to the door when the post is being delivered, and if it's still hanging half in, half out of the letterbox, he'll like scratch it out so that it's just on the floor, and then he'll sniff it for a little bit, and then he'll walk away. Well, this morning I got up, I got to the landing at the top of the stairs, and we've got sort of stairs, and then it goes around a corner, and then stairs going down, and on the corner step there was a parcel on the floor.
Oh yeah, you brought it up.
And
saying, hi Dan, you got present, you got parcel.
Well, I said to Dylan, I was like, did you bring this up? Did you leave this here? And then I picked it up and it had something in. Yeah. Well, he does that with his toys, Hedgehog, but like a parcel.
Yeah, we were lying in bed the other night, and then about 2 o'clock in the morning he brought his hedgehog to bed, started playing with it.
And it makes like this little squeaky noise.
And then he brought it back downstairs the other day and threw us the dirtiest look.
As he was carrying it.
Like, what are you looking at? It is my hedgehog.
Well, I just heard like a plastic little thump. And I was like, oh, is this Hedgie coming downstairs? And then he walked, like he didn't even walk. He like sashayed into the living room with such attitude, and then threw us the side eye like, yes, can I help?
Yes, peasant, it is my hedgehog. Can I help you?
I'm bringing him back downstairs where he belongs, okay?
But
he spent too long in bed.
He's a very weird character.
It's Inspiration Collation.
So this is the part of the show where we try and end on a bit of a high note. So we leave you with a bit of positivity that will then come together and create a little collation of positive energy that we want to share with you guys.
Yes, because as always, some people might think this is a bit cheesy, and I think sometimes we even think this is a bit cheesy, but it is actually quite nice, because some people need a little bit of motivation, and there's some horrible things going on. As always, there's never just one nice thing happening, like the flooding in Sheffield and York and things like that in South Yorkshire. It's awful.
But even not just like natural disasters and things, like people have their own personal problems. The Bubsy just burped in the background. Like I've battled with anxiety and depression, and I know a lot of other people do. Sometimes it's good to think about the positives in life, because life and that.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to say life and then give a big speech and then just end
No.
that. We are designed with a dreaming brain and a hopeful spirit. It is our nature to envision the life of our dreams, and while dreaming comes easy to us, we must never forget that it takes strength, dedication and courageous action to bring that dream to life.
Aw.
That's nice. So yes, dream big, but don't just dream. Make that dream become a reality. I think that that is easier, far easier said than done. But
If you try, then you will succeed.
exactly.
I seen something the other day, which I always say, but I seen someone else post it. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, then it's not the end.
Yeah.
I always say that to you, don't I?
No.
It'll all work out in the end. If it hasn't, it's because it's not the end.
Aye. Well, anyway, thank you very much for listening to this probably elongate. And do you know what it is? Controversial corner. I should never ask a political question because it always ends up.
Well, we
being
created it in our own heads as well. We went on about it like nobody else did.
Oh no, I know, that's why I'm saying I should never ask a political question because we'll be here all day. And politics divides opinion and it divides people and
Households.
exactly. And
My mum voted out, and I voted in, and then she was like, "Yay!"
and
No.
and yeah, so that's why I don't really like politics. And unfortunately, politics comes into everything, and I've tried to avoid it, and it was my own fault for asking that question. But this is still a safe place. These are just our opinions, we
And we never judge anyone for their opinion. Everyone has their own.
exactly. Like, I don't care if you voted out or you voted in, or you love Boris Johnson or you love Jeremy Corbyn, or you want the Lib Dems to become the
Nobody.
leader. I don't really care. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm not going to.
No.
I'm a strong believer that your opinion is your opinion, and I will 100% always respect your opinion.
It's just when people force their opinion
Yeah.
on you, that's the problem.
And
But
that's not what we're doing. So apologies if you've taken it that way, but no, it's absolutely not. You vote for who you want to vote, and you live how you want to live. You decide. You have your opinions. That's the beauty of free speech, isn't it, really? So
yeah. And you never know, someone might say something to us that'll change our opinion.
Exactly. I've changed my opinion from being a strong Labour supporter to being a strong non-Labour supporter. So
with no direction.
yeah, yes.
Anyway, we're going back on topic. We're trying to leave on a positive note. So think what you want. Your mind is your own. Don't let anyone.
Vote Bojo.
Fuck off.
I'm joking.
Nobody can tell you what to believe, and if you try your best, you will succeed.
True that. So thank you for listening again, and we'll see you.
Thank you, Jesus, for bringing Russell.
Yeah, that was funny. Thank you, Russell Howard, for that.
See you in the next one.
Bye bye.
It means the world to us that you've taken the time to listen to our show. If you want more, please subscribe on iTunes. If you have a few spare seconds to leave us a review, you will be forever in our hearts. Log on to gameof2.com for more of what you came here for.